Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Team USA, the women's side and the men's side. We got to discuss it, so let's get into it. Before we get started, I know it's kind of late for a lot of people, but hey, if you overseas, it might be early for you. So we might get some people here on this live. We might not, but if we don't, then you'll probably see the playback when you wake up in the morning. Once you do get in here, hit the thumbs up for sure. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Share. I'll always ask to do that and all that good stuff, man. And leave a comment, man. Whether you disagree or agree with what I'm about to talk about. Everything's welcome. It's a good conversation, man. So we'll get into it, man. The men and the women both are 2-0 right now. They're still fighting for gold in Paris for the Olympics. I want to talk about the women's side first. I want to get into a lot of things because, besides what's going on the court in the basketball, I want to talk about that too. But there's a little bit of a controversy around both the men and the women's side. So I want to talk about that controversy as well. With Caitlin Clark and her fans. Well, not Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark's fans. Still making a big fuss about her not being on the team. And then as far as the men on the men's side, what's going on with the minutes and players getting benched, mainly Jason Tatum. I'm going to have a really good conversation surrounding that. I think you go enjoy that conversation. But let's start with the women. So they won. They played Belgium. And let's talk about what I seen from that game. Number one, and I seen it from the first game as well against Japan. But I thought it was because Japan was so small that they allowed them to play really physical with the USA women. And from what I'm seeing, I don't know if you ever met or known a kid that was really tall and really big for his age really early, right? So I'm talking about like maybe elementary. He's maybe in 3rd or 4th grade. He's probably the size of someone in middle school, 7th or 8th grade, right? When that kid plays around everyone, I don't know if you heard the term of he don't know his own strength, or he don't know his own size. Because in his mind he's the same age as these kids he's playing with, but these kids are way smaller, and he's just a little too physical and too rough with them. That's what it seemed like it is for the women. They're so huge for their for a woman. Like, you got a 6'9" Brittany Griner, and then you got Alyssa Thomas is just like built like a Mack truck and probably 6'3" with it. You got Kelsey Gray, who's a big body point guard. You got Aja Wilson, who built like some type of female Greek god, super athletic, no body fat, 6'5". I mean, like, you're not gonna find a lot of females like that playing basketball in every country, right? So we got that. But I think when it comes to them playing on the court, they don't like they're playing like they don't want to like bully the smaller players. So what ends up happening is when you play under the whistle and they're allowing a lot of physicality, the smaller players get away with more physicality than the bigger players, because the bigger players, if I bump you deliberately and bump you hard, it's going to look really bad, so they getting the ball down low. They're not swinging elbows. They're not really using shoulders. They're trying to play straight up, because if I hit you, it's going to look like a foul regardless if it's a foul or not. So they're trying to play straight up. Same thing when they're dribbling and they're pressuring the ball. They're trying to play as fair as possible. I want to play without fouling, without touching you. I want my hands out. I'm not going to get physical. But on the other end, they're getting super physical with Team USA. So it kind of evens the playing field where the Team USA got the talent gap and the size gap, but they're not really able to utilize it because they're not taking advantage of how physical they're allowing them to play, right? So I say all that to say this. They still handled business, but that Belgian game was not a blowout, really. Belgium kept it within 9 to 10 pretty much the whole game. Every now and then the USA go on a run and get it to 15, but it'll come right back down to 9. You know what I mean? So it was doing that thing. Really good game to watch. Really good. Asia Wilson was playing unbelievable. Brianna Stewart played unbelievable. They both led the way. They both had 20 plus. That was unstoppable. But they didn't get a lot from everybody else. They got contribution from everybody. What's up, Ed? Wow. Hey man, I really did this for you, man. I dropped that Caitlin Clark video and I seen that you was up and I was like, man, Philippines in the house, man. I might as well get him alive, man, because Ed Wild can't never catch me live, man. So I said, let me go ahead and jump on and let's have this conversation, right? So that's what I was saying on the floor. Players play good. I like what Collier brought. I think Alyssa Thomas, now she is known for her physicality. She's the player that hard fouled Angel Reese twice in that one game, and one of them happened to be her yanking her out of the air while she was going up for a rebound. Yanked her out of the air, and pretty much made her land on her back and back of her head. Almost threw her down. Right, so that's Alyssa Thomas. She's rough. She plays for Phoenix. She's almost averaging a triple double because she plays kind of point forward, but she's like the Draymond Green of the WNBA. When she got in the game, she wasn't trying to take it easy and play without fouling. She was fouling. She was I ain't gonna say fouling. She was playing physical, right? So I appreciated her minutes. I definitely appreciated Kaya minutes as well. She hit 2 really good three. I ain't gonna say really good threes, but 2 really good important threes. 2 really important threes in the fourth that was really needed. That they gave him a run, man. So that was dope. I do have to say something about Kelsey Gray. Even though they call her the point guard, she can pass her butt off and all that stuff, man. Her movement is just, it's just not there, man. I don't think her defense is horrible. Defense is good. This is what I do like about Gray. She has a big body, and when it comes to all that physicality on the dribble and picking her up 94 feet, and they're doing all of that bumping and reaching, she can handle that, right? So she can at least get the ball up court and get the offense started without turning the ball over. I don't think there's a lot of guards that can handle all that physicality that they're giving them, right? So I don't think it's a lot of guards. And we'll get to some of that a little bit later once we start discussing Caitlin Clark. But that's what I do appreciate about Chelsea Gray. But she's not out there to score. Another thing I like about her is I didn't see it much in this Belgium game, but in the first game against Japan, you get a smaller point guard on her and you need a bucket. She'll dribble you all the way up court. You're pressing her, and then she'll back you all the way down to the paint. And if you don't double, she'll turn and she'll get the layup. She did that once or twice in Japan against Japan. She could have done that anytime she wanted to, right? But she didn't. But that's something in her repertoire. Her shooting, I really haven't. I'm not too familiar with her being a shooter. So I don't know if she got that, but from what I see, she's not that. But a great point guard, a great passer, and someone who can use her size in the paint. That's what she is. Athleticism, movement, sliding her feet, not so much there, man. Coming off the injury and probably played 3 or 4 games with Las Vegas before she went to the Olympics. So her conditioning probably ain't the best. She probably got about 10 pounds she could lose. That's just my point. I mean, she is a point guard though. You might be talking about Alicia Gray or somebody else, but Chelsea Gray is the point guard. She's a point guard for Las Vegas and the starting point guard for Team USA as well. So let's get into this Caitlin Clark thing, right? So some of the Caitlin Clark fans, and I'm glad we got people in here that probably could speak to that. I love to see your comments, and then also I open the phone lines up because I want to hear from Caitlin Clark fans. Because there's a lot of y'all in my comment section. They got a lot of good things to say, man. I think we should have this conversation, but uh, the the fans of hers that are in the media, specifically those that outkick the coverage, Dan Dandridge and others at Outkick. And not the only one. Gilbert Arenas and Shannon Sharp. Marcellus Wiley. She got a lot of people that support her and are willing to fight her battles for her. And I guess her not making Team USA is a battle they're willing to fight. I just don't understand that, especially after the initial news of her not making it. All right, you got a week or two to go ahead and do that, but a month later we're still talking about it, and then we're talking about it after every single game is a little bit OD for me, right? But the disrespect that people talk about is not really coming from people who agree that it's okay that she shouldn't have been on the team. Like there's some people that's like, oh, no, I don't think she should have been on the team. I like the squad that they pick from the basketball perspective of it. And the other argument of it is, well, forget the basketball. What about the popularity part? What about growing the game? And I'm like, I just don't see how that is a priority when you're trying to go win gold. Like if you have two priorities, that means you have zero priorities. You can't have two priorities. You can't serve two masters. Which one is your priority? Winning gold or being winning a popularity contest? I mean, you can't do both of those things. Some people say, yeah, you should be able to do both. Bring her on and win the popularity contest and the gold. But I'm like, how can your mind be split like that? Right? You got to prioritize one of them. And if you prioritize one of them, then the other one falls by the wayside. If I ask you, hey, look, man, I need you to do two things by 5 o'clock, and I don't think I can do both by 5. I try, but what's the priority? Oh, well, this one's priority. Okay, well, that's the one I'm gonna do first. And if I have any time left, then cool. I do the other one. But you got to prioritize one of them so I know which one we're actually putting our heart into. Right? And then I can put my heart into the other one later. Right now, your heart's supposed to be in winning gold. Right? If we would put her on the team just for popularity so we can grow the game, I don't know if you read that book. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want some milk. Right? And you read that book, it's about 5 or 10 pages of if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want milk. And if you give him milk, he's going to get sleepy. If he gets sleepy, he's going to want to sleep in your bed. And if you sleep in your bed, and it just goes on and on, it's a slippery slope. Same thing with this Caitlin Clark thing. If you give Caitlin Clark a roster spot only for popularity, and because her fans pressured us to do it, the next step is we're going to want her to play minutes. And then the next step is we're going to want her to start. And then the next step is we're going to want the offense to cater to her. And then the next step, you get what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope. Because if we just put her on a roster, how does that grow the game if she's not getting in the game? Like if she's on the bench, how does that grow the game if she's on the bench? And then and what would Caitlin Clark fans say in the media if they see her not playing? You seen the fuss that happened when Tatum didn't play. What if that was Caitlin Clark? Her fans would have a problem with it. What if her fans see that physical defense beating her up and she started turning the ball over and she don't look good like her first 10 games in the WNBA? What happened when people was playing defense on Caitlin Clark? Oh, why y'all picking her up 94 feet? No other rookie is getting defended like that. Y'all jealous of her. That's why y'all playing defense. Why y'all hard fouling her? Why y'all fouling her, period? Why y'all doubling her? Why y'all forcing her to get the ball out of her hand? Let her shoot the three. Play her straight up. Like, these are the things that fans were saying. I mean, we even had Brandon Jennings come on there and say, look, man, if y'all want to grow this game, man, y'all gotta ease up on Caitlin Clark. Let her do her. Let her shoot pretty much. So my question again, if you give her a roster spot, then what's next? Minutes. If you give her minutes, what's next? The offense. Now we're not running through Aja Wilson. We're running through Caitlin because her fans want to see Caitlin. So when that happens, that slippery slope, that's when your priority of winning gold disappear. That's when the new priority becomes Caitlin. And we've seen it. I showed y'all that last week. Not last week, but earlier this week. I showed you when they got a win and the offense wasn't flowing through Caitlin, it was flowing through Boston, and they got a big win. Her fans did not like it. They didn't like it. Look at the bottom comment. Scoring is her game. Teams are clearly trying to overcompensate to take that away, right? Look at the second comment. Bench players can do that. Passing, posting, that's not her game, right? They want Caitlin Clark to shoot and score and shoot and score. So my question is, what happens if we gave her a roster spot only for popularity? It's going to turn into something else, and next thing you know, the offense is running through her, and now it's Caitlin's team, all because the fans want it. So it's crazy. But listen to where the disrespect comes from, because the disrespect doesn't come from the side of the people who don't think that she should be on the roster. The disrespect comes from the people that are so-called Caitlin Clark fans, not WNBA fans, not basketball fans, just Caitlin fans. Listen to this.
This came to me the other day, Caitlin Clark and the Olympics. You know, Caitlin Clark comes out of college and boom, it's a massive deal. It's a huge deal. It's such a deal that we keep talking about it, and we never run out of content because there's a lot there. She's become the most popular woman athlete, I would argue, in the world. And the Olympics hit. What a perfect time to grow basketball. What a perfect time to grow women's basketball. Think about it. If Caitlin Clark had come out last year or next year, people would have said, oh, man, it's just too damn bad she didn't come out in an Olympic year. Wouldn't that have been perfect? And everybody would have nodded their head. Remember, women are always yelling at us. Look at us. Our sport's great. Grow our game. Blah, 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 blah. And it hit perfect. The perfect storm hit like a ton of bricks. It hit so hard. Caitlin Clark on TV, biggest ratings ever in college women's basketball, gets to the WNBA. Hadn't been a million viewer game since 2008, 14 of them under Caitlin Clark's tutelage, regime, whatever you want to call it, with the Indiana Fever. And now, what? The Olympics, a chance to grow the game internationally? Well, the little 90s rap girl dresses like Kid and Play, Dawn Staley, and her little group of angry, pissed-off lesbians didn't see that as an opportunity. They saw their pettiness dominate, and they kept Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team. Fast forward to the Olympics. All right, women's basketball, grow the game. Did you know that of all the games of the Paris Olympics in women's basketball, the United States versus Japan's women's game drew the fewest amount of spectators? How about that? The fewest. I'd say the most. I mean, some games have gone as many as 20,000 filling an arena. The United States did 13. I'm sure there are other factors until I saw the interviews post-game where basically every angry old lesbian on that team had an answer for the little straight white girl. So this is the type of talk that you hear and then you see in the comment section, and you hear from people that's supposed to be supporting Caitlin Clark and supposed to be sports lovers and basketball lovers. The most divisive and attacking and disrespectful type of talk is coming from that side. Nobody is saying nothing disrespectful about Caitlin Clark. I quite frankly really like Caitlin Clark, and I like her game.
but I'm also honest about what I see on the floor. Everyone that's around this whole situation is getting attacked. Angel Reese gets attacked daily. These people call her out. Now she's not a lesbian, or she don't, but they got other names for her. You get what I'm saying? Like they call her every name in the book. They talk about her game. They talk about how she run. They talk about how she can't jump. Not knowing that she got a rod in her leg from a accident she had and surgery she had. Right? I mean, it's just so like it's crazy. Now they're attacking Dawn Staley and how she dressed. Now they're attacking all the other girls who just so happen to be in same sex relationships. Like they're like it's crazy. Like who is doing that? And for some reason, people think that's okay. Like for some reason, people think that's okay. Right? This is somebody on a platform that's kind of big, talking like that, and the whole platform talks like that. Very interesting, right? But those are the fans. And the crazy thing about it, they're talking about boycotting the Olympics. They talking about boycotting the whole Olympics. Most of them are saying they're just going to boycott the women's basketball games because they want the numbers to be low, the ratings to be low. And then now they bragging about it. Oh, they didn't draw this many or this many, right? The ratings was pretty high though for them. The TV ratings was pretty high. But even with that, they don't even believe it. Oh, that's a lie. All my friends aren't watching. We're boycotting. So how are their ratings high? Right? That's what they think. They think that like put it this way. I think the ratings for a Caitlin Clark game in the WNBA in America, I think is I seen some in like 2 million range. I think I seen one at 3 million range. So 2 or 3 million for ratings. And that's mostly America watching that. And even if it was other people watching from other countries, I don't even think we can. I don't know if we have a way of capturing that and using that for our ratings, right? But that's another story, right? But it's mostly Americans watching that game for Caitlin. So 2 million on the safe side. Let's say 2 million. It's about 2.53 million are watching the not WNBA, but the Women's Olympics games right now. Even though what he just said that they had low attendance face to face, like the people who was actually at the game in Paris was a little bit less than the other games. Some of those other games was like 27, but like he said, there's other factors. Like some of those games were residual from the men's game. And the time difference was different, so it was a lot of factors on the face to face audience, right? But as far as the TV ratings, they've been pretty good for the women's. They're not talking about that. Only thing they're saying is that can't be true because why? Caitlin Clark fans aren't watching. That's what they think. They think because Caitlin Clark fans aren't watching that the ratings should be incredibly low. And they're shocked to see that it's not. So they're like, it's impossible. It's impossible. We're boycotting. There's no way that anyone other than Caitlin Clark fans are watching. There's no way, right? So the funny thing is Caitlin Clark is actually watching the Olympics and cheering her fellow Americans on, right? She's cheering her Americans on, and she's watching her WNBA peers go and compete for gold and fight for Team U.S.A., right? So she's even watching, but her friends not, right? That's interesting. But I say all that to say this. Let's just get into the basketball part of it, and then we get into whether it makes sense to have her on the roster just for popularity if it's going to grow the game. And that's why I'm going to need y'all help at comment section or when I open the phone lines up. I want to know what the plan is to grow the game by having her on the roster, but we'll get to that. As far as basketball, right? When I watched this game against Belgium, where Team USA really needed help at was defensively, right? They missed a lot of assignments defensively. And they had 14 turnovers in the first half. I don't know how much they ended up with, but they was turning the ball over, right? Defense and turnovers. They got good points from their stars. 26 from Stewart, I think 23 from Wilson, or something along there. So that was scoring the ball pretty well. But defensively, they missed some assignments. They gave up some open threes. They was getting lost on some screens and back doors. And the point of attack defense on the ball wasn't where I would like to see it at, right? And then, like I said, the turnovers. Now, what are the strong suits of Caitlin Clark? Passing the ball and shooting deep threes. Not defense and turnovers. Those are actually her weak spots. She's weak as far as taking care of the ball. She leads the league in turnovers. And she's weak on defense. So where is she going to help this team? Basketball-wise. All right, so we got that part out the way. Now to the part about growing the game. Tell me in the comments. I'm about to open the phone lines up. But tell me in the comments or call in and let me know the step-by-step process of her growing the game by being on this roster. Does it include her playing a little bit? Does it include her playing a lot? Like, how does she grow the game? Like people are saying she's bringing all these eyes, but what if these eyes show up? Just like that eye, like coming out of college, everybody say, oh, she's going to take over the WNBA. She's going to be the best girl out there. She can shoot like she's the female Steph Curry. So we thought that, I didn't think this, but the media thought and was telling her fans that once she get in the league, we about to see some Jordan type stuff. And then when we didn't see Jordan type stuff, and we seen her getting locked up defensively and turning the ball over and scoring 6 points and turning the, all that stuff, we was like, okay, this is not what they told us we was going to see. Right? So what happens if she goes and can't handle that pressure in the Olympics because the defense and the physicality is more in Paris right now than it is in the WNBA. And she struggled with the WNBA her first 10 games. So what's going to happen when she struggle on the Olympic stage where all these world eyes that y'all said she was going to bring? Once we bring all these eyes and they look and say, oh, shoot, she's not even as good as advertised. Then what? How does that grow the game? All right, caller from Chicago. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Mel?
I'm good. What's good with you? What's your thoughts?
Man, I think they need to just let Kaden develop. They trying to push her. She's not, like you say, she's not ready yet. But, because if you think about it, she really didn't get known until Angel Reese had taunted her.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about Caitlin Clark. And I'm not knocking her as a basketball player. She's a good basketball player. But she still have a lot of things to learn.
Correct.
I think, I hate to bring them up, but I think this LeBron thing is making people forget about going through the true process.
Okay.
Because, instead of like going through the process, yeah, you lose, but you learn more when you lose because you learn how to win.
Right.
People don't want to go through that process no more. They want that instant gratification. But they just need to let her develop.
Okay.
Stop rushing her. Yeah, she's a part of the face of the WNBA, and she's young.
Let me ask you this. Do you think she should have been on the Olympic team?
No.
Okay. Do you think that it's important that she is on the roster to grow the WNBA's game?
On the Olympic roster now?
Yeah, I mean, because that's what they're saying. They're saying, yeah, maybe she don't deserve to be on there as a player, but
no.
Okay. Do you understand that thought process that if she's on the roster, that means the game is going to grow?
No.
I don't either.
No, the game is, because, man, if you think about it, you got an old girl at U.S.A. coming out pretty soon. The game's going to grow.
The game is definitely going to grow. Now, this is the
It's
thing.
going to grow.
It's going to grow. It's already growing. But this is
Right.
and Caitlyn is a part of that. But this is the thing, though. You can't just be popular, right? At some point, if your popularity ain't matching your play, it's gonna fall.
Correct.
It's gonna fall off like Linsanity did, right? So Linsanity
Correct.
played phenomenal for a stretch, and he was very popular.
Right.
But
they started playing physical against them.
they start exactly right. It was when the physicality came on Linsanity was over. When the
Right.
when the physicality came on Caitlyn, the Caitlyn Clark effect was over until the media went and had her back and told everybody to lay off of her, stop playing her tough defense, stop doubling her, stop hard fouling her. The league needs to step in. The league needs to change the rules because it was like, man, there's no way she can do that Caitlyn Clark stuff against physical defense. Now they want everything changed for her. Now this is I make this final point and I'll let you talk. Right.
Okay.
They comparing her to people like Jordan, Steph Curry, and all this stuff, saying she's the Michael Jordan of the league. The thing about Michael Jordan's popularity on Team USA is that when everyone heard about Jordan and how good he was, when he showed up for Team USA, they also seen that he was actually better than what they heard. He was better than advertised on both ends of the floor.
Right.
Caitlyn Clark might have that popularity, but she don't have the game. So when everyone hear how great she is, when they come to the game, they're not seeing that on a pro level. They seen it in college. They're not seeing it on a pro level. Right? Mm-hmm. All this is right now is they're taking Adam Morrison or JJ Redick and giving her Michael Jordan attention. And they're trying to fill the gap in by forcing by telling the other girls that they need to go easy on her. And that's not right.
No, they, they're just not truthful, man. They, because that's why I like to watch you guys, because you guys talk about basketball.
Yeah.
See, I'm 60 years old, man. I've been playing ball till I was like 55, so I know basketball. And they just don't let people develop. They crown people too early.
Way too early.
They crown people too early. People like you said, Jordan. Jordan was killing in college.
Correct.
Then when he came in the NBA, people don't understand, especially young folks, Jordan was killing in the NBA. He just didn't have a team.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a team.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Caitlyn Clark really didn't, she led the NCAA in points. Yeah, okay. Good, congratulations. But she wasn't necessarily killing. Because she was, they would have won one of them two NCAA championships.
Well, no, I will say this. She was killing in college, for sure. She was killing in college. She didn't win because she went to Iowa and she didn't go to, but still, but it's a double-edged sword, though. And I say this and then I get you off the line and open the phone lines up. But this is a double-edged sword because if she wanted to win, she would have had to go to a better school that have better teammates, right? But if you go to a school like UConn with a coach like Gino, he's not gonna he's not gonna allow you to play the way you played at Iowa. So you wouldn't have broke the records. You wouldn't have averaged 30. You wouldn't have been coming down shooting off balance threes whenever you wanted to. You would have been playing a team oriented basketball game under one of those coaches. So which one you want? You want the wins or you want the stats and accolades, right? So if you want the stats and accolades, go to a school like Iowa, but you're not gonna win from there. But that's how that was, man. But I appreciate the call, man. I'm gonna move on.
Okay, man.
All right, thanks. I probably can take one more call. So with this comment, I say, so you really think that Caitlyn Clark negative stats is going to affect Team USA and winning the gold? I don't know. All I'm saying is that I don't think she can handle that pressure. So bringing her to the Olympics and putting her on the roster, she probably would be on the bench or on the court turning the ball over a lot, not handling the pressure. Now you take your option. If you want to grow the game and you bring Caitlyn here, if she looks bad, she didn't look phenomenal in the All-Star game. She missed all her threes. She didn't look phenomenal. Threes and shooting was supposed to be her strong suit, but she didn't jump into the 3-point contest during the All-Star game. What pure shooter turning down 3-point contests? Steph ain't never done that. What pure shooter saying, nah, I'm supposed to be the best shooter ever, but I'm not getting in the Olympics. Steph didn't do that. Dale didn't do it. Hell, Tim Legler didn't do it. Bird didn't do it. They got in the 3-point contest and showed you what they was working with. Klay Thompson did it. So she didn't hit no threes in the game. She shot away from the 3-point contest, and that's what she was supposed to be known for. But now they done remix him. It's like, oh no, she's a passer. Now she's John Stockton. Y'all said she was Steph Curry at first. Now she's John Stockton, and we want her for her passing. So my point is, you get her on that floor, and she doesn't look great. How does that grow the game? Okay, we showed up to see this Superwoman, but she's not Superwoman. How does that grow it? If she looks bad, how does it grow it? If she's on the bench, how does that grow it? Caller from Texas, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? This is Big Salute.
What's going on?
First of all, I want to know, do you suffer from insomnia? I was like, out of nowhere, I got a message saying you was live. I was like, oh man, he don't play games. Whenever he wake up and have an idea, he go with it.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is the thing with her. I think the WNBA started off. They weren't prepared for her to come in, and then they didn't prepare the players and the coaches on how to respond to a bunch of questions they're gonna get about a player that's not that good but popular. Right, and as far as the Olympics, I don't even think about what you're gonna take away or add. I just know that you're putting her in a hostile work environment to put her on that team, and those other players looking at her.
Her teammates.
Yes, her teammates.
I think the WNBA players love Caitlin though.
Yeah, I think they love her.
Yeah,
but
because
if she get on that team, they still gonna feel she don't deserve to be on there.
Yeah, that might happen. But I mean, if she can help, I don't think they would care. You get what I'm saying? Like because when you watch that,
she won't really help.
Yeah, when you watch that game today, when Belgium was busting their head wide open, man, they ain't care who put the ball in the hole. Man, they were hugging people. Oh man, when Collier hit them 2 threes, they hugging her. They on the sideline. Oh, thank God, because nobody else couldn't hit a bucket. So if Caitlin was out there, and initially they had the thought process of, dang man, you shouldn't be here, I think they'd get over it real soon once that ball tip off. You know what I mean? They got to.
I think the biggest thing would have been prior to if WNBA don't get ahead of it with the PR and make sure players are responding the right way, it still could have been an issue. Just
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think before the thing, I just think a lot of players love her, like how you said it. But if they could talk in that manner to say like, oh, I love Caitlin Clark. I seen her in college. I knew she was gonna bring something to the league, but she's not there yet. She's coming.
Well, I mean, it is people that are saying that, but they asked Diana Taurasi. They asked the wrong person.
Right. No. They're showing the wrong responses on purpose.
That too. You're right.
Keep this thing going. Keep this thing going. I mean, and of course, I know she got the fans and everything, and she could quickly come on like, hey, I love y'all, whatever. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And then you got LeBron, and he's just pandering. I mean, he knows she got a bunch of fans. I mean,
yeah.
He got more fans. He's got more people pushing his GOAT conversation.
And look, but they also both with Nike too.
That's true.
Yeah, they both with Nike.
That's true.
Nike probably gave him a phone call and was like, hey man, you need to say something.
I said he would have said it anyway, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I just think I just hate the way it started. I hate when it was like, she's not proven yet. And the comments, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna be good. I watched it build up. I watched a girl on Sports Center get cross with Stephen A over it. Yeah. He could have been pushing the lead, but what was he gonna push?
Yeah.
And then you say, then I know he keeps saying, it's a straight white girl. And I'm like, okay, she's great today.
Yeah. So
She's
let,
great today.
let me ask you this, because
Go
I've been asking most of her supporters this question, but they can't explain it to me. Maybe you can. There's a comment on the screen that says, I won't lie, they would have made a lot more money if they chose Clark. We can't deny that. All right. So are you saying the WNBA and the women who's playing on Team USA right now would have made more money if Clark was on the team? How does that happen? Can you explain that to me?
So I'm not tracking their stipend going up based on, revenue. Now if I might be ignorant to it, but I'm pretty sure the NBA players bring a lot of revenue. But I don't know if the little stipend they're going to get for playing in the Olympics is going to go up. Now, as far as maybe selling some her jersey, the U.S. Olympic jersey, I could see that one. I could see that.
I can see that, but selling some jersey. But guess what? If you want to sell some Caitlin Clark jersey, just make one. Give her an honorary jersey.
Yeah.
If that was the case, she don't need to be on a roster for that. Give her an honorary jersey and sell it. Or just go over there with the Indiana Fever jerseys. Sell the Indiana Fever jerseys over there. She don't need to be on the roster for that.
Right. And it is two sides. It is two sides of it. You got her side, and I say her side. I'm a fan of her, but I watch basketball, so I know she's not there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as the fan side, you got her side that's, got all that vitriol about the trying to say something about lesbians, trying to make it something like that, or trying to make it black and white.
Yeah.
And then you also have some people on I hate to say our side, but on the black side that and it's not all black, but just other sides that just say, oh, the little white girl, this and that, and that's just not helping the conversation on her. It's just not helping.
I don't want to say, I don't want to say nothing or support nobody saying nothing that's gonna be divisive. I don't want to do that. I don't want to disrespect nobody. I don't want to call nobody out their name. I don't think nobody race should be I don't know, used as a weapon. I don't think nobody's sexuality should be used like that. Like that is nonsense, right? The only thing I will say about race, is that I think that most of her supporters are happy to see someone that looked like them being this good at basketball, especially when she was busting ass in the NCAA. You get what I'm saying? We took great pride as black people when Tiger Woods was whooping ass in golf. We took pride in that. I ain't know nothing about no golf, but Tiger Woods, oh yeah, I watched for Tiger. So we can't deny that that's a fact. Like, all right, I normally wouldn't watch golf, but it's interesting to see a sport dominated by non-blacks to have a black all of a sudden come and rise and be the top guy or close to the top guy. But this ain't even that. Like they assumed that she was going to go in the WNBA and be a top guy like a top female like Tiger.
But and they assumed the black girls are going to hate her.
Right. And she wasn't that good. Now what do you do? Right. All right. So we seen her in college whoop ass. Y'all thought she was going to do it in the WNBA and she can't do it. Now what?
Yeah. See, half of these guys don't even know Caitlin Clark. They just seen her, and like the other caller said, she became famous when Angela Reese gave her some payback on taunting her or whatever. But right now she's humble and she's not doing much. She's not running her mouth. But they just don't know. Caitlin Clark is a big time shit talker, big time.
Yeah,
she was taunting the whole way in the what was that? The NCAA tournament.
Yep.
And only time it slows down is she loses. She gets, of course, she's humble. But whenever she's up and she's in, she's gonna put on the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now she did it more. She did it more her junior year. Her junior year, she was in people's face. She was knocking people down.
Yeah,
she was feisty. But when Reese beat in the LSU beat in the finals, and Reese did the John Cena on her, that's when the media came to fight her battles for her. She was much more calmer her senior year, because every battle she needed to fight was fought for her in the media. She didn't have to say nothing.
Yeah, and the eyes was on her, and she had an agent.
Of course. Yep.
So they kind of prepare you for some of that stuff. Like, you don't need to do all that.
Yep.
You got everybody on your side. You got this momentum coming your way.
Yep. Chill out. Just
So-
chill.
so-
Let us do it for you. The media is on
Yeah.
your side. The media go fight everybody for you, especially Angel Reese and them South Carolina girls and Don Staley. But all right, let me move on, man. I've been on this topic a little bit too long.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for the call.
Love the show, man. Love the show, man. Talk to you again.
All right, bro. All right. Omba said, especially if Reese and Clark were there, people will still watch. I'm watching. I don't know. Like, Reese is not there, Clark is not there, and I'm watching. I haven't missed a game. I'm loving it. It's good basketball. The real answer is not if two players or one player was there, more people would watch. The answer is the answer should be if the basketball is good, more people would watch. Because all I've been hearing from people about WNBA is you can't get money because y'all basketball suck. But now that everyone's watching supposedly for Clark, now they can see, oh man, it's actually good basketball. It's actually so good that the girl that we thought was the best can't even score over 20 points on a consistent basis. She's actually not the best. She's actually not top 15. Forget the top 12 that made the Team USA. She's not top 15 because we go beyond the 12 that made it and we go to Rike that got two all-star MVPs who torched Team USA in this MVP in this all-star game and the all-star game 4 years ago. That's number 13. She's better. If we go to Della Dine, who's taking a year off, she's better. That's 14. I mean, it's a lot of players better than her. So what should be the answer is they're playing good basketball and it's great players out there. So I'm going to watch. Not I'm not watching because Clark's not there. Because if you're not watching because Clark's not there, what if she is there but she's on the bench? Then what are you gonna do? Not watch? I'm so confused. I'm so confused by the I'm not watching because Clark's not there. I'm confused by that because she's not tearing it up. So what are y'all watching when y'all do watch her? She's not killing it out there. She's not tearing it up on the court. She's absolutely not tearing it up. Y'all went from great scorer to great passer. Y'all went from Steph Curry to John Stockton. Come on, what is she? She a great passer now. Okay, got it. I mean, she was always a great passer, but y'all was praising her for her shooting. Now she's shooting like shit. Now she John Stockton. Okay, got it. Yeah, she missed the three-point contest. Not missed it because you missed the bus. That's a mistake. No, she purposely passed on it. Look, call the number because I need to hear you explain this because I got to ask you questions. Having Clark there brings more viewers and then lets people recognize the other players too. We already did that in the WNBA. Having Clark in the WNBA brought more viewers. And then when you play and you watch her play these games, and every time she play a game, she getting her ass bust by somebody. And you recognize the other players, but what do Caitlin Clark fans do after she get her ass busted? Oh, y'all fouling her too hard. Y'all jealous. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, yeah, Caitlin Clark brought 16,000 people to the stadium. I'm about to show out. And then y'all get mad at that player for showing out and playing defense on Caitlin. Oh, no, you're supposed to play Globetrotter basketball and let her do her thing for entertainment because we came to see her. So you don't really want girls to perform. You want Caitlin to bring the crowd to the game, and you want everyone to play synchronized basketball like the Generals play against the Globetrotters and pretend like they're D'ing up Caitlin, but let Caitlin shoot the ball and let her score because that's what people came to see. You want Caitlin to be the next Curly Moe doing Globetrotters stunts on the court. Everybody else synchronized basketball, scripted basketball. That's what y'all want. Like literally, people are saying at the first 5 to 6, 7 games when Caitlin Clark was getting crunched and crushed on the court, people was telling everyone to ease off of her and let her get her stuff off. And it's supposed to be the best. The fans don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I like real basketball. What fans want to see fake basketball? Jeez. In terms of turnovers, LeBron, Luka, and others also have so many turnovers. Right. And we all say it's bad. We've never not looked at turnovers was like, oh man, there's great players with turnovers. So let's say turnovers is good. Right? Omba. Turnovers are bad. Are we in agreement on that? Turnovers are not a good thing. Turnovers are bad. Are we in agreement on that? There's no name you can attach to a turnover to make turnovers turn into a good thing. You can't flip it. Turnovers is bad all the time. Well, Magic got turnovers. Oh, okay, so it's good. No, that's not how it works. There's no you can't dissolve turnovers by attaching a great name to it. People are definitely watching. Yeah, Jordan versus LeBron is definitely played out. Caitlin Clark can go to Paris just like Angel Reese did not promote the game. Yeah, Angel Reese did go to Paris, and she's doing a lot of tweeting and a lot of picture taking and all that. She's enjoying herself and watching the game and supporting Team USA, even though she didn't get selected for it. And even though she has a huge following, just like Caitlin, no one is trying to downplay or insult Don Staley and the selection committee and the other girls on the team. Nobody from Angel Reese fan base is disrespecting people like that just because Angel's not on the team. CC did nothing well on the court and plays got off of her fans will start talking about her character and her philanthropy, just like LeBron fans. And they start talking about her teammate and her coach as well. When she played bad, it was her coach's fault for not running the offense through her and not having better plays. And then it was her teammates' fault for not doing whatever. I don't know. It was always somebody's fault. There are white players in the WNBA, not just Caitlin Clark, for sure. CC is new and young. Sure. All right. There's a fan base that won't fake basketball. This is the problem. Yeah, of course. That's part of the issue. People won't fake basketball. Triple doubles are better than double doubles, and when you need the last few minutes to get a double double, that's trash. And she's 6'4". This video is not even about Angel Reese. It's about Team USA and then Caitlin Clark's fans. It's not about triple doubles, double doubles, or Angel Reese. I'm confused. I'm confused. Caller from New York, what's up?
All right, my man. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I was listening too close about the beginning of the stream, and or just my personal take on it with Caitlin Clark's performance. You said that she's potentially not even top 15. There's some things that's not there apparent in her game currently. I guess some will give her grace because she is a rookie, but things that she was doing consistently in college that she's not doing now, like again hitting that very deep 30-foot plus three. Okay, cool, granted, but she was about the number of assists and rebounds that she's doing currently is very similar to about what she averaged for her college career, about 6 rebounds, 8 assists. That was her college career, and she's averaging those numbers now. Cool, granted. Defensive talent in the WNBA is far superior night in and night out compared to what she was seeing in college. So I'll give credence to that. and adjustment period for her over time from what those first couple of games to when she started turning the corner and playing a lot better, probably getting more accustomed to the game. But a lot of people are saying she can't handle the physicality, this, that, and the third. If you did catch when she was in a workout video with her teammate Aaliyah Boston, just flexing, they're doing a little bit of working out, whatever. The young lady probably is in a lot of ways like LeBron does, trying to sell the flop or flop, trying to get a call, right? From excessive contact. Sometimes it may be a call might need to be called, but it doesn't get called, and hey, you got to play through it. Don't complain. Just put your head down and get back to work. But for the most part, the way that she's currently built, structured, her physicality, she's probably just playing it up. Like I said, probably just playing it up in those flopping situations, trying to get the call. But I did pull up her shooting split. I had the game logs from the very first game to this game, right? Her percentage did improve slightly over the last couple of games, as well as her assist numbers. But if you say, okay, for WNBA standards to NBA standards, I don't know what's good in comparison. Field goal wise plus 3-point wise, about 35%, I would say, is looking at overall NBA history, WNBA, pardon me. About 35%, if you shoot 35% from three in the W, it seems like a decent, and about 40, 45, you're okay, right? Most every game that the young lady's played in, though, right, there's some stinkers, but she's doing about 40% field goal. She's had a couple of games that she did 50. There's one for 63, one for 53 out of 26 games total. So out of 26 games total, I see a 52, a 45, a 43, a 53, a 63, and I'm talking about field goal percentage. A 50, another 50. This is getting close to the end of the season before the break. A 45, a 44, had another stink of 28%, then the 33, 41, 50, 50, another stink of 29 and 52, right? Shooting split.
Right.
On about average, I can't see the average, about average attempts. Looks like she's taking close to about 15 to 16 shots a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her 3-point percentage, shaky. That's the one part of the game that we're expecting to translate. But what she does, that deep three, besides Diana Taurasi I've seen attempted, and Lexi Brown, I guess, just on the strength because they were playing them that game, nobody else is taking shots from that distance, which already is a highly ineffective shot for most people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get back to that standard by next season. Right now, but rookie, I'll give her some grace.
I mean, yeah, she deserved grace for sure. And I think Diana Taurasi was the first person to speak up on the fact that it was going to be an adjustment period, and she was right. And she also said, you got to give yourself some grace. Like, don't come in here with crazy expectations, because we're actually playing defense over here, and we actually can play, right? So that's one thing. What you're talking about is her not being what she was in college right now, and she deserves some grace. That's one topic, right? I agree with you 100% on there, no rebuttal. But this particular video was about Team USA. So with that being said, part of that grace is not her getting a free pass and a roster spot just because she's popular. That's my whole thing. The only reason why I even brought up anything of her I guess her discrepancies on the court was because I'm showing you that she's not ready to be on this team. And we can't put her on there just for popularity, because what are we doing? How important, like that? I think that's ridiculous. Like, people really believe, because she's popular, put her on the team. Well, hell, Taylor Swift is popular too. And you can put Taylor Swift on a team and put her name on the back of a jersey and not play her and just have her on the end of the bench. And she'll do exactly what she did for the Kansas City Chiefs last year. So if it's just about growing the game, just do some dumb, goofy stuff like that. Hey, Taylor Swift, we giving you a roster spot. That's basically what they're saying. They're saying, forget the basketball. We know she's not ready basketball-wise. but put it in there for the popularity. Dude, just give me Taylor Swift. Give me Taylor Swift, because at least her fans aren't attacking the all the freaking girls and the coaches that's on the squad and calling them lesbians and saying they're jealous and saying they nappy headed hoes and black and calling them all types of jigaboo. Like that's her fan base doing that. How the hell are you, how, like, if you want her to be accepted by everybody, how can you be that toxic as a fan base and expect people not to be like, nah, you know what, we good on that. Keep her ass over there, because she's bringing a whole fan base that we don't want no parts of. Like, because like I said at the beginning of this, if they would have gave her a roster spot, her fan base would have cried for her to get a starting spot. Then her fan base would have cried for her to get a lot of minutes. Then her fan base would have cried for her to have the offense ran through her. Then her fan base would have cried for her to get the more shots than Asia Wilson. That's what would have happened. It's a slippery slope.
But that's in turn punishing the young lady for something that has nothing to do with her.
It's not punishing her. It's not giving her something based on popularity. Your popularity don't earn you a roster spot. Your play earns you a roster spot, not your popularity. They want to change the rules to popularity. Hey, give a roster spot just for popularity and to grow the game. Hell no. How about no? How about this? How about the fans that's following her, that's supposedly growing the game? How about we don't want those fans? Have it ever occurred? No. Have it ever occurred to you that basketball purists don't want those fans? We don't want Caitlyn fans. We don't want LeBron fans. We want all of them to be flushed down the toilet. They all toxic. Clutch Sports, all of them. Rich Paul, go the hell away. That's real talk. We don't want those fans. So forget saying, oh man, well, don't cry when it's time for the money. Guess what? I keep the money we making right now for my peace of mind. If I got if I got to get rid of Caitlyn to get rid of her fans, I do it.
Nah.
That's real talk.
I mean, Jack, why there's a slight disagreement. There's two different points that you hit, but I'll address in chronological, where you said she didn't deserve a roster spot because of the play. There's great arguments for that, right? Like I said, I do have it put up even for the first 10 games or just a month of maybe looking at the overall play. It was spotty.
No. I only need one. I need one stat. Leading the league in turnovers by far. That's all I need. You're a point guard. Your primary job is to take care of the ball. That's your primary job. Secondary job, run the offense as a point guard.
Yeah.
Right?
And the person who's second in turnovers made the U.S.A. team, but she's a great player though.
Who is?
Alyssa Thomas.
Who is?
Alyssa Thomas is second in the league.
She's not a point guard. I can take the ball out of her hand and have her play defense and rebound. I'm fine with that. She's not leading the Olympics in turnovers. So yes.
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, by far, right? Because Alyssa Thomas brings me rebounds and defense toughness and experience, not a rookie. Caitlyn brings me inexperience, rookie, turnovers, no defense, and she needs the ball in her hand. But I need the ball in Asia Wilson's hand. I need the ball in Stewart's hand. I need the ball in the post.
Now, from what she's showing you, how she's played recently, it's not far-fetched from anybody's mind that she would be distributing the rock, that she would do her job as a point guard, because for all intents and purposes, she is right now showing that she's probably the best playmaker in the league. And we're going back again to not giving a spot. It's just like giving somebody a roster spot on legacy or what they've done in the past is almost the same as just giving her a spot because of popularity.
It's not because I'm gaining.
You know where I'm going with that?
I'm gaining something with that. I'm gaining experience. I'm gaining something that the locker room needs. Hey, look, you've been there 3 times, 2 times, 4 times. You know about this. You know about how physical this play is. You know how you can navigate and show these girls that's been here for the first time a lot. So it's not the same as a legacy, because legacy makes sense. I'm getting experience. You can't make that argument that it's the same for bringing inexperience on here. What do I gain from that? Now,
I was going to go bring your mind to the fact again that Chelsea Gray and Brittany Griner were injured throughout that whole time. The first 10 games or so that the young lady was playing, on the W stage.
Yeah.
Right. Chelsea Gray, of course, coach coming back from I think it was ACL.
Yeah.
ACL is not a Achilles or something
like
that.
Yeah, Achilles. I think it was a foot.
lot of players don't come back the same from that injury.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And
look,
so
with Brittany Griner though, I don't care about her injury. She's 6'9". She's on the roster.
She's 6'9". Yeah. Right. So I'll give a pass. Right,
but with Gray, I did a video 2-3 months ago when they first announced the roster, and on that video I said, Gray, if I was to take anybody off this roster, it would be Gray. But this is the thing. It's still not a foregone conclusion that Clark would get that roster spot, because why wouldn't you give it to Arike? Why wouldn't you give it to her? Why wouldn't you give
because
it?
Arike won't be a distributor. She's
okay. Why wouldn't you give it? Why wouldn't you give it to Skylar Diggins?
That I would argue for that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a foregone conclusion. It's gonna be Caitlin. I give it to Arike or Skylar before I give it to Clark.
Skylar is a better choice right now than Chelsea Gray on that roster, according to health wise and production so far in the W.
I think so.
But you just gave Chelsea Gray coming off an injury that spot.
But this the thing though. Chelsea Gray, as far as bringing that ball up against all that pressure with that big body, she's not wavering with it. Like she can handle that. Like they're fouling her really hard with the body and with the reach in, and they're not calling it, and she's handling it. Caitlin Clark would she would cough that ball up with all that pressure. She was coughing. She's been coughing it up all season with pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, even though I would take Gray off, for the fact that I don't think she moves as well right now. Once I watch those games and watch how physical they are, they're more physical than the WNBA, and I didn't expect that, right? And they're allowing a lot of physicality. Yeah, now I like Gray on that spot because everybody can't handle that type of pressure, and she's handling it with ease. But yeah, man, I appreciate the call, man. I'm gonna move on, man. I've been on this topic already an hour. I got 2 more topics. All right, thank you.
All right, man.
Yeah, that was an interesting call. Very interesting call. CC wouldn't have made it up the court. Japan would have locked her up. She'll be on the bench. She would have coughed it up for sure a couple of times. And that would have been unfortunate. But yeah, man, I think most of the disrespect come from that side. And people just want to be real and talk about basketball and be honest without having to hear somebody get attacked for it, man. I mean, keep it basketball. You can break down somebody's basketball game, but all this lesbian talk and you black and you jealous and all of that, that's crazy. That is really crazy. Now let's get to the men's side. So the men are 2-0 as well. They look really good in their first game. Kevin Durant looked really good. LeBron James looked pretty good as well. I think Drew Holiday has been looking good pretty much the whole time. But they have a bit of a controversy going on, which happened with game 1, where NBA champion Jason Tatum, first team All-NBA Jason Tatum, the Jason Tatum that is on the squad with 2 of his teammates that actually get paid to make sure he get the ball. They're getting more PT than him. I thought was interesting. And so does Stephen A. Smith think it was interesting as well. This is what he had to say about Steve Kerr.
Quote, the NBA is so popular worldwide, and the regular season is kind of a soap opera. And so we understand that, and social media takes over and everything becomes so dramatic. I think we need to give these guys more credit. They're here to win a gold medal. They're pros. They're committed to each other. End quote. Final game of group play will be Saturday at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time versus Puerto Rico, for those of you who care. Here's the deal. That's a real easy thing for Coach Steve Kerr to say. And it's not that he's wrong in any way. It's just that it's not that simple. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyrese Halliburton didn't play. We didn't say anything about that. You know why we didn't say anything about that when he didn't play? You know, the other day when Jason Tatum was benched, because Tyrese Halliburton is a young guard. He was in the playoffs, although Indiana got to the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston this year. You know, we understand that there's levels to this. And when you look at a Drew Holiday and when you look at some of the other talent that exists on Team USA, all right, it's going to be pretty difficult for him to crack the lineup and stuff like that. We understand that for the most part. What we're saying is that Jason Tatum is a superstar in this league. He's the reigning defending NBA champion. See, when we sit up there and we talk about this kind of stuff, this is the thing that drives me nuts. Everybody act like they don't understand what the hell I'm talking about. It's Jason Tatum. We understand the greatness of Kevin Durant, maybe the greatest basketball Olympian ever. We understand who LeBron James is. We also saw Team USA beat Serbia by 26 points. You can't find time for somebody like that. You're talking about, oh, it's very difficult to play more than 10. Well, what 10 players are better than Jason Tatum? He's 6'9" and can play the 1, 2, 3, or the 4 position. When you bench Embiid, that's understandable. You're going against South Sudan. They're running up and down the floor. Their success is primarily predicated on perimeter shooting. Joel Embiid is never 100% healthy. He's had foot injuries. He's had knee injuries. He's had back injuries. That might not be a game his all-world talent needs to participate in. We understand that. Jason Tatum was healthy. Jason Tatum is spry. Jason Tatum is 6'9". He's a 6'9" dude that can play guard and forward. He can play 4 different positions. What possible excuse could you have for sitting him on the bench and then to tell him beforehand, there's 10 dudes we're going to play for you? Well, let's go down the list. LeBron, who's approaching 40. The Bam Adebayos of the world, along with Anthony Davis. That's a given. They're playing the 5 for you. We got that. Kevin Durant, sure. Going to play Kevin Durant ahead of him. I got that. Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Derek White. You got 2 dudes that are his teammates for the Boston Celtics, whose job is to defer to him.
Look, man, Stephen A. Smith didn't do nothing but spit facts, man. And he don't often do that. He was 100% right. Whatever excuse Steve Kerr gave for benching Tatum was just baloney. Like, I mean, saying you can't pay 12 guys, okay, I get that. Well, first of all, I don't get it because you can play 12 guys, especially in the blowout, right? That game was a blowout. And LeBron James was close to a triple-double and didn't want to sit his ass down. So in a blowout, he's still in there playing in the fourth quarter. Them could have been all of Tatum's minutes. The entire fourth quarter could have been Tatum. You could have found some minutes for him, maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the first half, and that whole fourth quarter could have been his. He didn't have to sit down. Now, when you do have those games where it's not a blowout and you got to keep your rotation short because you got to go with the best lineups and the lineups is working, yeah, then it's hard to play 12 because it's only 40 minutes, right? It's hard to play 12 guys. You don't even do that in the NBA. You don't play 12. So it's hard to play 12 in a 40-minute game. So I get that point when the game is tight or close. But in that case, when the game is tight and you got to decide not to play 2 guys, how the hell is it the first team All-NBA defending champion player? How, like when has it ever been that guy? Like you look at Dream Team, the guy that decided to not play that day, it was never Jordan or Magic. it was always Stockton or Chris Mullin and Christian Laettner. If you go sit a guy, those are the guys you sit. The one you don't sit the guy with the most brass. How you sit the first teamer down? If you're not sitting Steph down or LeBron or KD, how you sitting down Tatum? What it really is they sat the person that they have the least amount of respect for, or the person that probably won't make a fuss about it. You get what I'm saying? I hate people that do stuff like that. Like, I want to make an example, or I want to push my weight around, but I'm gonna do it against the guy that I know ain't gonna push back. He know Tatum was gonna take the high road with it, but he won't never sit no freaking LeBron James. He won't do that. He won't sit his own play and staff. He won't do that. He probably, I mean, he sat Edwards last year. Or not last year, but in the trials, I think. And Edwards had something to say about it. He ain't do that. He ain't doing that again. So Tatum was he was the quiet one that he thought that he could do it to. But why the hell? We understand why you sat Tyrese Halliburton. He's a young buck. We don't need him that much. You sit that young buck. But Derek White just got there last week after Kawhi left. And he's like the least guy on the totem pole other than like even Tyrese got more status than him. So if you sit someone, it's the newcomer, it's White, and it's Tyrese Halliburton. So there's your two that you're sitting, and you got your 10-man rotation, 9 if you want it. But it shouldn't be Jason Tatum. So Stephen A. Smith is right, 100%. But I don't know if we looking at it the right way, because this is what I think, right? You know, I did some connecting some dots, and I got a theory, right? I think I ain't gonna get to that yet. Let me get to the game. All right, so the game is in my opinion still showing that Kevin Durant is the leader. Right? That's what I'm seeing. I just, like a lot of people are saying that LeBron James he's the MVP of the Olympics and all this stuff, man. And I get it. He go end up with more stats than everybody because points, rebounds, assists. Like that's what everybody's been conditioned to view good basketball through. Ever since maybe 2010. Points, rebounds, assists. Whichever player who has the most of that is the one that's doing this thing. They want to give Luka the MVP because of points, rebounds, assists. Jokic got 3 MVPs because of points, rebounds, assists. LeBron is considered one of the greatest of all time because of points, rebounds, and assists. Westbrook has gotten an MVP, points, rebounds, and assists. Harden has got an MVP, points, rebounds, and assists. Caitlin Clark is like the last caller that was telling me Caitlin Clark is so great because of points, rebounds, and assists. If you're doing that and recording that, people brain short circuit and they can't think basketball anymore, right? But for my money, give me Kevin Durant. All right, so let's get into what I think it is going on with Jason Tatum and him sitting down for that game 1. And by the way, he started game 2. I think people made such a big fuss about it. Steve Kerr was like, all right, it was either that or what I'm about to tell you. So this is what I actually think happened. I think Jason Tatum got suspended for game 1 or was getting punished for game 1 for showing up to camp late. How do I know he showed up to camp late? Because when Grant Hill was on the Dan Patrick Show getting interviewed and getting asked about how he chose Derek White over Jaylen Brown, he mentioned it. This is what he said.
So, we went to training camp and we didn't have KD. KD was out, Kevin Durant, sort of coming back from a calf injury. And then Jason Tatum was late for arrival. He didn't show up the first 2 or 3 days. So,
wait, Jason Tatum was late to training camp and he was 3 days late. I don't know where training camp was at, but wherever Jason Tatum was at, he decided it's more important for me to handle what I got to handle here. I get there when I get there. Right. I don't know how many players showed up late. I don't know if it's some type of policy or punishment for it. But in my opinion, I actually think Jason Tatum showing up late is the reason why he was benched, but they don't want to make that public because that probably would have been embarrassing. Right. That probably would have made him look bad, like he was unprofessional. Right. So I think they tried to cover that up, but they made it worse by sitting him. I guess they couldn't fake an injury. So yeah, man, we'll sit you. It'd be a DNP, and maybe it'll fly over and won't nobody say nothing. But too many people said something about it, right? I actually think that he might have got suspended or he was getting punished and he missed that game, right? And I thought it was interesting that Dan Patrick had Grant Hill on the show to do that interview and to field questions about the Jaylen Brown snub, right? And I also thought it was interesting, Grant Hill been a Duke alumni, Jason Tatum been a Duke alumni, and then Dan Patrick the next day interviewing Coach K, who was the Duke coach that coached Tatum at Duke and coached Grant Hill at Duke. And that's a fraternity. Maybe Grant Hill was like, look, this was really maybe Coach K called Grant Hill, was like, what the hell y'all doing with Tatum? And he told him, look, man, this was really going on. He showed up 3 days late. This and that, blah, blah, blah. But we trying to keep it on the low. And then maybe Grant Hill was like, you know what? When I go on this Dan Patrick interview, they go ask me about Brown. I'm gonna kind of mention Jason Tatum showing up late, but I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I'm just mention it. And maybe you as his mentor and coach, you can say something as well. And I know he will respect it coming from you, and everyone else will respect it coming from you as well. So Coach K went on Dan Patrick the next day, and then the day after that, he went on Rich Eisen's show, right? So he was talking about it all. But I'm gonna play for you one more time what Grant Hill said, and then I'm gonna play for you what Coach K said. This is Grant Hill.
So, we went to training camp and we didn't have KD. KD was out, Kevin Durant, sort of coming back from a calf injury. And then Jason Tatum was late for arrival. He didn't show up the first 2 or 3 days. So,
all right, that's him, 2 or 3 days. Listen to Coach K.
Your favorite Kobe story. What do you have? Your favorite Kobe Bryant. Well, what do you?
I have a bunch of them.
What do you have?
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's the best prepared player I've ever seen and coached or heard about. 2 days before we started training camp in Las Vegas, I was with my staff, and there was a knock on the door, and it was Kobe. He came 2 days early, and
wait. So the coach from Duke, a Duke alumni who's putting together the Olympic team, both go on the same show, right? Well, one go on Rich Eisen, one go on Dan Patrick, but Coach K went on Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen. One is saying Tatum showed up 2 to 3 days late for training camp, and Coach K is telling the story about Kobe, who everyone respects, and he's putting a message out. Kobe showed up 2 days early for training camp, right? 2 days early from training camp. Listen to him.
Your favorite Kobe story. What do you have? Your favorite Kobe Bryant. Well, what do you?
I have a bunch of them.
What do you have?
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's the best prepared player I've ever seen and coached or heard about. 2 days before we started training camp in Las Vegas, I was with my staff, and there was a knock on the door, and it was Kobe. He came 2 days early, and he said, I need to have a meeting with you. I thought he was going to drop out. My heart dropped. And we went into a room, and he looked at me, he said, I need for you to do me a favor. And I felt good. I said, okay, he's still with us. And I said, of course, I can do you a favor. And he said, I want to guard the best perimeter player on every team that we play. And then he paused, and Rich, he leaned forward then, he had these penetrating, beautiful eyes. And he said, Coach, I promise I'll destroy him.
Right. So that's him telling the Kobe story. I think I heard that before on the documentary for that Olympic team. He told that story. So if y'all haven't seen the documentary, that's probably the first time y'all hearing that story. But he told that story. But I think it was really important that they both went on there. One of them dropped the breadcrumb. Now, mind you, the question wasn't asked to Grant Hill about Tatum. It was asked about Brown. But in telling the story about how he picked White over Brown, he started by telling how when it was at training camp, they seen a lineup that worked and they wanted to try that. And it was basically because, Tatum showed up 2 to 3 days late to training camp. And then his former coach comes on, and I'm going to tell this Kobe story, and I want to show you how he's the best prepared player I've ever been around and how he showed up to training camp 2 to 3 days early. I just think there's a huge coincidence, or maybe it's not a coincidence at all. Maybe it was strategic, but they dropping breadcrumbs. And I think the message is, Jason Tatum, if you want to be like Mamba, if you want that Mamba mentality, you got to start doing some Mamba shit. Just because you won don't mean it's over. You still got to be prepared and the best prepared. And you know what I'm saying? You still got to have that mentality. And maybe Jason Tatum didn't show up with that mentality. Maybe showing up late. Maybe he wasn't bringing it at practice. I don't know. But in my opinion, I think that Jason Tatum was getting punished in game 1 for showing up to camp late. And here it is, his former coach is trying to send a message to him. I'm pretty sure he probably talked to him or tried to, but he's trying to send a message to him. That's what I think. I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, but I'm just telling you, that's my opinion. Don't nothing else make sense to me. That's not there. I mean, I don't coincidences, it just don't happen like that. Like that was breadcrumbs if I ever seen them, right? But I also want to get into some other things that Coach K said in those interviews, though. Those interviews was really good. Let me say this. He tried to back up Steve Kerr for that decision as well. He tried to back him up and mention that, it's hard managing all those players. Here's what he said about that.
What did you think when you heard Steve Kerr say he felt like an idiot giving Jason Tatum his first DNP CD perhaps in his life, Coach?
Well, it is difficult because it's 40 minutes and, you can't play 12 guys and have continuity. And so whatever rotation they decide on, and hopefully the players, they're all in tune to that. You have to have some level of continuity. These other teams have continuity. They don't play 12 players. They play 8, 9 maybe, and they play more minutes together. And so it's a difficult assignment. And we usually ended up with a rotation of about 9 players, and 3 others would play limited minutes or not play at all. And whatever happens for the team, you accept it, because again, you get back to that one question: did we win? Okay, this is the way we have to do it. As long as we win, I'm okay with everything. There are no individual accolades. It's got to be a collective effort and a collective accolade when our team is standing on the podium there, getting gold medals around their necks, and the national anthem is being played, it'll all be worth it. So everyone's got to just buy in and do what that coaching staff wants them to do.
Although
Yeah, that's his another message to Jason Tatum. That's another message to Jason Tatum. All right, so let's get into the other things that he said in the interview. Coach K on Rich Eisen. I'm pulling interviews from Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen. So he said a lot of interesting things. I like it. I like it when people talk about Kobe, Mike, Magic, Bird, talk about those guys, man. But what he said, I mean, it's gonna be 2 clips. You got to listen to what he said, man. You got to listen close. I mean, this dude dropping gems in this interview. But listen to what he said about Kobe, Mike, and Kevin Durant, out of all people.
The mentality of Kobe versus Michael Jordan in practice at the Olympics. Is there a discrepancy? Like, is there similarities that they sort of attacked when they came in, that practice was a game to them?
No, I think they're probably 2 of the most similar great players in the history of our game. I mean, and one, they really, they were just super talented, but they were also incredibly prepared. And I don't think anybody was any more competitive than those 2 guys. So they were that all the time. That was their personality. And when they were on the court, and it meant something in practice or in a game, they were all business. They wanted to be great, not good. I mean, they wanted to win, but and they wanted moments. They were never afraid of a moment. They craved moments. I knew that more about Kobe because he was on 2 of our teams, and I was the head coach. And if it was a tough moment, he smiled. He, like, all right, this is what I prepared for. That other stuff was pretty easy, but this is who makes me. And he came through all the time.
What Olympic team had the biggest impact on you, whether it was coaching or personally?
Well, I was an assistant on the Dream Team, so I saw the magnificence of those guys and their professionalism and how they brought the NBA culture at that time into the Olympics. The teams I coached, starting with the Beijing team.
All right, so I played a little bit too much on that, but I like what he said about Mike and Kobe. He said they was very similar and almost the same in skill set, right? Yeah, we live protagonists. Then he said that their competitive edge was at practice and in the game. They was just ultra competitive and probably the 2 most competitive guys he's ever been around, right? Kobe and Mike. Then he said, when it comes to Kobe, I knew from being around him and seeing him, there was no moment that he didn't want. He wanted all the big moments. And when it was a big moment, that's when he smiled. That's what he licked his chops for. That's what he wanted the most, those huge, big moments. He didn't shy away from any of them. This is what he's saying about Kobe, right? That's high praise. Kobe and Mike. Those are the 2 names he mentioned. Then he was asked this.
Talking to Mike Krzyzewski, go back to the Dream Team, and it felt like there was like tangible moments where Bird and Magic and everybody else realized that all of a sudden Mike was the new sheriff in town, and that there was almost this begrudging handoff of that guy's the best player in the world.
Well, they weren't at the same age at that. Jordan was more in his prime, although he's always in his prime, and I shouldn't even said that. He was Jordan then, and where Larry really had a lot of back problems then, and Magic had been all out for a year, and so not that they were at his level at that time, but if they were in their prime, all 3 of them, I'd take those 3 guys to start any team.
If you could pick one of those 3, that one would go to Duke when you were there,
Oh, I take any of the
No,
three.
you got it. You got first pick.
Yeah. Well, who's going to stay for 4 years?
He can't pick.
Okay.
Jordan only stayed for 3. I wish he'd only stayed for 1 at Carolina.
How about they're going to all stay for 3 years? Magic, Larry, or Mike?
No, I can't pick one. Yeah, I can't pick one. I love all 3 of those guys. Like you're talking about 3 of at least in the top 6 or 7 in the history of the game. I mean, Magic is probably the best point guard ever.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan may be the best player ever.
Yeah.
Although Kobe's right there and
Kobe's
LeBron.
right. Yeah.
And Larry was just unique. You know, like he's, and you talk about being a competitor. Yeah, there aren't as many players like that anymore. I'm telling you.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, and not that there isn't talent, but you know, like I don't know if I saw something yesterday where the salaries, and these guys deserve it, of our Olympic team for next year, the guys on it are something like $500 million when you combine for the year.
That's crazy.
You know, the 12 guys. On the dream team, it was 35 million. So for the whole team.
That's crazy.
And so I don't know if there was you didn't just play for money. They loved the game. And I wish we would have, I think we have a number of guys who love the game, but in youth basketball and even college, I'm not sure the love of the game is the impetus to be good all the time.
Yeah.
And like Durant loves the game. Durant, if he's walking by a gym, he's got to go in and shoot, you know, he's got to play every day. And I wish that I would see that more, you know, in the young players. Now, that, again, not that there are players like that, but it was almost like everyone was like that during that time period.
So that's a really good point, right? So what he's saying is, and I mean, that was a long clip, but what I wanted y'all to get from that was toward the end when he started talking about Bird, Magic, and Mike, and saying that they don't make them like that no more, right? And he was just like, man, the love of the game, I don't think is there. And then he said, why? He said, I don't know. And then he started mentioning the money. He was like, look, man, the Olympic team now, that whole total salary next year equals to over 500 million. The total salary of the 92 Dream Team was 35 million, right? I think Derek White might be making 35 million next year by himself. And he's the worst. I mean, he's not even a starter. He ain't even first team, second team, or third team all NBA. He's not even an all-star. So, and he's getting 35 million. So imagine that. So I think what he was trying to hint to is that love of the game is evident because it wasn't the money. Well, maybe it was the money, but the money never made them so comfortable that they didn't feel like they had to achieve more. Like this money they getting now, like, I mean, you can get that money without loving the game. You can get that money by, you know, going hard through high school, going hard 1 year in college, or not going hard in college. You can get hurt and play one game in college. And you know, if you got a lot of promise and a lot of potential, you can still be a top lottery pick. Right? Once you get in, you know, you get in the league and you get that money, play well your rookie contract, and then hopefully get that big contract later, that big extension. After that, I mean, you can relax if you're that type of person. And I think that money is fine, you know, is showing more people are not like Bird, Magic, and Jordan, and probably more like Charles Barkley. Like Charles Barkley never took his diet serious enough to be in top shape every year. So you got your Barkleys, you got your Lucas, just show up fat all the time. But that love of the game that he's talking about, the guy that he mentioned that got it now is Durant. And his example was he can't even walk by a gym without going in and getting shots up. Kevin Durant, Kyrie, maybe even Steph Curry, they love the game like that. Right? I think they practice constantly. Right? What I see LeBron doing more than he's doing gym work, and I could be wrong because I'm not seeing this man everywhere, just what he was posted on social media. But it appears that he works out in the gym more than he works out, and I'm talking about the weight room, more than he works out on the basketball floor. It's kind of evident. I mean, his body is in tip-top shape still at 40, and that's probably where he hang his hat at. Kind of the same for Dwight Howard. I mean, Dwight Howard, hey man, I can dunk, I can jump, I can rebound, I can block shots. I don't need to be Elijah Wan in the post. My athleticism gonna get me where I need to go. And maybe LeBron is kind of the same way, and it's working. But getting in there and getting that gym work on the floor, like Kevin Durant, I just didn't hear his name mentioned. I didn't hear Coach K mention LeBron name. He mentioned Mike, Magic, Bird, and KD. Right? He mentioned those guys. And then when it came to the guys who was the most competitive and who brought it at practice, he's been around all of them for Team USA. He only mentioned Kobe and Mike. I think that's significant. I think that's noteworthy. I think that was worth a conversation. Right. So, but y'all can let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. What was Coach K really trying to say? Why bring up KD's name, not LeBron's? Why bring up Kobe and Mike's and not LeBron's? I think that's interesting. Did he just forget about LeBron? I don't know. Y'all let me know. All right, the last topic I want to get into, I ain't got no soundbite for this and nothing like this. I just wanted to get on this situation that happened in Paris with the female boxing competition. And the female, all right, so I did a little reading on this, and this is what I can tell you. The girl name is Iman Khalif, right? Some people is pronouncing it a man, and I think that's disrespectful, but Iman Khalif is a female boxer, or at least a person that I ain't gonna say she identifies as a female. I think she's a female on her birth certificate for sure. So she was born a female. However, in some other boxing tournaments, she failed the test for her gender. Like, when they trying to identify what you are, she didn't pass that test, which means that she probably got some XY chromosomes, which is what we have as men. Like whatever her insides is detecting male. But I think her sex organs is female. She was born with the female parts, but on the inside, she got the male parts as well. So she got a little extra, which means she's probably going to produce more testosterone than a normal female. So, she just got a little extra. So what does that do if you get and producing more testosterone your whole life? You're going to be bigger, you're going to be stronger, and in a sport like boxing, you're going to hit harder. Right? So what happened is, under those other tournaments, when they detected, the male parts on her insides, they banned her. But that entity that governed those tournaments are not governing the Olympics. So whatever entity governs the Olympics are allowing her to compete. And it's not just her. I think it's a fighter from China that also has the same predicament. They're allowing both of them to compete. So what happened in this match, the lady from Italy got in the boxing ring with her, and she lasted 46 seconds. She quit. She get in the ring. Iman Khalif put them paws on her, pop, pop, pop. Got it one good time in the nose, and she put her hand up and was like, "Nah, that's it. I'm not going back out there." Took a glove, told her trainer to take her gloves off. They tried to get her to go back. She was like, "Nah." She just quit. Right? I mean, these punches are hard as hell. I don't think I've ever felt that before. That was what she was like. Like, this is crazy. Like, this, in her mind, this man is whooping my ass, and y'all allowing it. The other tournaments wouldn't allow it, but we're doing it in the Olympics. This man whooping my ass, and it hurts. I ain't never been hit that hard. Take these gloves off. I quit. 46 seconds. And then they brought them both back to the middle of the ring. They raised the hand of the winner. And as you can see from this picture, she tried to come over and console her. And she wasn't having it. She wouldn't shake her hand. She wouldn't give her eye contact. She wouldn't look at him. She just fell to her knees and busted out crying. And she said, this is unjust. Letting a man come in here and whoop on me, that's unjust. Right? She didn't say that part, but she said it's unjust. And she was crying on her knees. Right? So yeah, I don't know what she had in her gloves or how hard she hit, but she went in there and whooped ass. Girl quit. So I really can't say because a lot of people was getting the information wrong, and they was calling her a trans athlete. They was calling her transgender. I even seen Clarissa Shields, the GWOAT, go on a news station, and they interview her. And first of all, Clarissa Shields needs to stop boxing ASAP. She got that Sphinx slur. She got that slur that most boxers get. Man, go talk to some of them old boxers, man. Go talk to Buster Douglas. Clarissa Shields got that. That ain't good. I think that's why Layla Ali retired so fast. She still got all her faculties, and I mean, she's seen what her dad had to go to. Layla Ali still, she can go call a fight and sound good and commentate a basketball game if she want to. She can be a news analyst. Clarissa Shields, sheesh. Y'all need to go look that interview up. I ain't never heard her talk and try to be professional in that type of setting. Man, I was struggling trying to listen to her. It was pretty bad. But she spoke about it, and she kept calling the girl transgender. So she was misinformed. Whoever the news people were was misinformed. So many people was calling this girl transgender, and we never knew if she was really transgender. Transgender mean I was born as a man, and sometime along the lines, I decided I want to transition to the opposite gender or the opposite sex. You can transition, and you can actually have the surgery to actually transition your private parts as well. Or you can do what Caitlyn Jenner did and just transition in your brain and say, now I'm a woman, and just start wearing women clothes and keep your male parts. Right? Either way. But if you're going to call someone transgender, that means they used to be one thing and they transitioned to the other. I don't think that's the case for Iman Khalif. I think she was born with the woman parts. And, through testing, they found out that inside she had some male, some male parts to it as well. But on the inside, I think that's what it is. So I think, it was good to have that conversation just so we can correct the people that was calling her transgender. I don't think she's transgender. Now, I could be wrong. And if I do some more research on this and find out that I'm wrong and she really has the male part or used to have it, then I stand corrected. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I read, that's not the case. Right. But let me get into some of these comments before I end this stream, man. I just wanted to say that piece. Iman looked like a man to me. She do got a strong face. She got punched once and said she was out. Yeah. Said her nose was hurting. It looked fine to me. That punch must have been hard. All these women who are going to fight trans nets need to forfeit the match immediately. If they force these women to fight as trans, then they better boycott the limit. But I don't think she's trans though. To me, it doesn't matter if this one is a man or not. If women want this stuff to stop, they need to refrain from the competition. A man in, fine, I'm out. The volleyball player is paralyzed. What volleyball player got paralyzed? Sheesh. Brother, you can see and hear on another level. Can't leave out your understanding, man. Can't teach what they don't have. Appreciate that. The girl just can hit. She's a female. And you might be right. She might just got them paws, man. I mean, Clarissa Shields got them paws too, right? You know what I mean? So they tried this to get you used to men fighting women, but it backfired. Sheesh. Is she the fighter born with the XY chromosomes and was assigned a female at birth? Yes, I think that's her. And it was a track star last was it last Olympic in Tokyo or the one before that? It was a female track star that had the same issue, right? But they didn't let her compete because the ICA wasn't governing that tournament, but they are governing this one. So the entity that would have said no to them isn't governing this Olympics. It's a different. Her name is McNabb. She's 17. No way. How she get paralyzed, bro? You have a transplant in college and pros before long. Possible. Well, all right, man. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me on this stream, man. I know it was a weird hour to do it in, but I mean we had people in here listening, man. So that's good. That's all I can ask for, right? Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the share button. Thank you for the comments. If you want to help me build my studio up, I got some stuff going on over here. If y'all want to help, man, y'all can go in the description box, donate to the Cash App, man. Everything that I get in the Cash App goes toward fixing my little makeshift studio up, man. So I appreciate that. And I catch y'all on the next live, man. Hey, it's Friday, man. So you know what's going on tonight, Full Panel Friday, man. So for those y'all new to the channel, Full Panel, all my crew go be here Friday. We discussing everything. Call-ins, the comment section be live. It's a good time if you haven't been part of it. And we do cash giveaways too. So hope to see y'all there. 4:30 p.m. if you on Pacific time. If you on Eastern time, 7:30. I catch y'all on that, man. Peace.